Okay, so I got a new hose to replace the old hose, the center brake line hose for the rear. So that's here. Problem is this is a 3/16 inlet, and I need a 1/2 inch, so I had to get a adapter. If I can pull this up there. I got this adapter. It's 3/16 to 3/4. I need 3/4 on this end because that's the size of the new brake line that I got with my conversion kit. It didn't match the original hose here, so luckily I was able to find this at Jegs, which is where I have ordered a lot of my parts from, and the conversion kit. So now this will attach to that line, and then further down this will go ahead and attach to the two rear brakes, using the old union, or the old splitter. So we'll get under the car and get going on that in a minute. Okay, this might not be the easiest thing to video, but I will try. So what we're doing here is we're going to attach the center brake line, the flex hose, to the master brake line that's coming down. You can see it through the hole. This is where I put the adapter on, because that's a 1/4 inch plug on top there, and this was only 3/16. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, it's hooked, it's in there, it's threaded. Just snug it up, and then I'll tighten it with the wrenches. This is a brand new fancy tube wrench. Let's see if that helps me along. This size fits. It fits, but I gotta hold down the hose part. And that was 5/8. It feels like that's pretty tight. I'm gonna give it a little more just to be safe. Actually meant to stick out the back. That we're gonna clip on that later on, if that clip even works there. Yeah, it doesn't seem like the clip would come out far enough, and that's probably why there wasn't one there when I opened this up to begin with. Okay, so I think we're good with that. Now the next step will be to attach the brake lines down here. So we'll get going on that in a few minutes. So with the brake line kit I bought, that came with the conversion kit, it is actually, looks like it's for drum brakes, so it would go all the way over to the wheel, which I don't need because the disc brake conversion kit comes with a flex lines that go halfway down the axle housing. Which means this line that came with it's too long, so I'm going to cut it with this here cutter, hopefully. And then I'll flare it with the tool I have for that. Get that set in there. So the way to cut it is to just snug it up a little bit, twist it around a little bit until it feels loose again, maybe 2 turns, tighten a little more, a couple more turns, feels pretty loose, tighten it more. You don't want to over tighten it and crush your tube. So be patient. Doesn't seem to be doing much. A little groove. Okay, still working at it. It's getting a little bit. Oh, there we go. It just came apart. So perfect. We'll come back when we start the flaring. Before you begin the flaring process on your tubes and your brake lines, make sure you put the correct fitting back on, otherwise you'll have to cut it again to get past the flare, and make sure it's pointing the right direction, not like this. I bought this double flaring full toolkit from Harbor Freight, so we'll take it out and see how it works. So I've got the tube in, we have it tightened down, then we put this guy on top. This is the flaring cone. This needs to be a little higher than the tube. The tube we set to the height of this shoulder of this flaring tool. It goes inside like this, and it's not going to go. tube is clamped in. You're going to put this adapter on top. And we're going to take the flaring cone, slides over the top. You can start tightening it down until it's snug. Now we're going to put in the handle, and we can crank it as tight as we can get it until the adapter is touching the bottom of the tool here. At least that's what the directions say. If your clamp isn't tight enough, it's just going to push it down, which is looking like is possibly what it's just doing. We'll take it out and see what it did. Yep, so I'd say I need to tighten this a little more. Okay, attempt number 2. So this is a stainless steel line, so they're pretty hard, pretty tight. Pretty hard to flare them if you don't have the right tool. Again, I think it's just pushing it through. It's not flaring. Let's go down a little more just to be sure. Yeah, it didn't flare. Yep, might need to get a stronger tool. Take it out and see. You see it did next to nothing, so when it's done it should look like that. Like that. That's the other side. Okay, we're going to try and get this clip out of here to get the old push rod out. Not sure how easy this is going to be. There's a clip here I got to get out, which seems pretty tight. slightly. I can still take it out, I think. So that's out. Too tight. All right, it's out. There it is. Well, I had to get creative with the bracket that you're supposed to weld onto the axle housing. I'm not a welder, and I'm trying to keep this a do-it-yourselfer. But so I took this bracket they sent me. This is what you need to weld on. So I took an angle bracket, drilled a big hole in the back to match, to be a little bigger than the size of the hexed hole in the bracket. Took a couple small screws and nuts, put those on there, and I put some thread lock on there so that these don't vibrate loose. And then I'm going to mount them with the hose clamps onto the bracket, or I'm sorry, onto the housing. So we'll see how that works. I just couldn't find anything like this online. It's already pre-made, so I made my own. Okay, so the new bracket's going to mount somewhere around right here. I have to take out this old brake line first. See, it's already loose. Just got to get it through that bracket. It's pretty tight. Actually, I'll probably just slide it up. Nope, not quite, but I can cut it and then it'll slide up. And then the new bracket is going to go up here like this. And I just need to find the right size hose clamp. I think this 3-inch hose clamp will do it. Okay, so I'm going to get the hose clamp started here. And that's the hose that's going to go to it, so that's about where it's going to end up. And this will eventually slide right into there. The hose clamp will hold it up. And it'll be just like I welded it. Sure. Okay, note that I did slide the little clip on here to hold the hose to the bracket. And here's where the hard line will go into. You could actually... Okay, snug it up some more. Okay, it's there. I don't want it to be totally tight yet until I get the hard line connected to it in case I have to move it a little bit. But that seems like it's going to do a pretty nice job. And nothing's in the way. The springs won't hit, the shock won't hit, muffler won't hit. So I think it's in a good spot. And we have to move over to the other side and do the other side.